Alright, and hello. We are about to start our new campaign set in Eberron called The Power of the Gods. And this is episode 1. Well, technically, episode 0. How are we looking? How's the sound going?
It's going good so far.
So is each of you in wherever place or location you are right now, as you lay sleeping, your dreams begin to fade into blackness. A figure begins to materialize before you. Difficult to make out details. Everybody roll an insight check. This will be the first roll of the campaign.
Roll high, baby. Roll high.
Boy. Oh, not a good way to start.
Just make sure your settings are not on. Yeah, because they won't show up in the stream.
Mine was a 13.
Sorry, I didn't notice.
And
I rolled a 10 if anyone is interested.
there we go.
I'm a bit concussed. I'm not seeing shit.
Would you roll?
Uthal,
Mm-hmm.
it's still very difficult to make out many details. It's definitely a person, but you're seeing a color blue. That's about all you make out.
Okay. I'm just gonna observe.
The figure stays at the distance, and each of you hear the voice say, "The time has come. The way is clear. They won't see this coming." Suddenly the image changes and it brightens. You feel a cool air on your face as the image forms slowly. You blink your eyes to clear your vision, and a vibrant cityscape appears. Imperialistic style buildings. All of the buildings are mansion-sized homes. Polished cobblestone walkways disappearing through marble archways. Looking up, you see a number of airships gently floating across the skies, all heading towards a large structure at the center. A castle, or a keep, of huge proportions. Gardens on every parapet, rivers of water cascading through each level, serving not only as wondrous beauty, but also serving as the city's aqueduct. What water isn't directed through each residence is spilled into the lake, where a flotsam of ships sail. The air is a little thin up here, and it's at this point you realize you're in the clouds. This is a floating city, high up above the ground. You've each been summoned to celebrate the Jubilee of King Boronel Erwanan's 80th year of reign. There are many people gathered, and in what's serving as a large gathering area, you look around and you see as many as 10,000 or more people here. There does appear to be gatherings, very notably mixed gatherings of status or class. Very near the front, you can just make out the dress code of very high nobility. Probably a lot of those who are from the court themselves, the king's court themselves. Through the middle, a lot more of the more generalized nobles, the people who don't live within the city walls, within the castle walls themselves, but down amongst the city itself. And then, with the rest of you, the more general population towards the back. These sort of ceremonies are quite long and arduous, filled with a lot of pomp and a lot of formality. But for the most part, you're all interested to see what's happening. I've not attended one of these before. It's unusual being here. And these invitations go out randomly for the general population. As you're watching and listening, what's let me just have a quick look. Dardalian and Darian, off to the side, you are distracted slightly. There's a slight commotion. You see an official moving about and he's talking to a couple of guards. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but it seems they are in a little bit of a tizzy. Go ahead and give me a perception check for both of you.
15.
It's still a bit hard to hear from where you're standing, Jack. Sorry, Dardalian. But Darian, you hear fairly clearly there's talk of one of the street guards becoming violently ill, and talk of a secret subsystem previously unknown leading into the underground. You hear this official talking to the guards, and he asks them to rally some troops. But the captain of the guard shakes his head and said, "We cannot. We are all required here. We all have stations to attend to. You'll have to find willing mercenaries from among the crowd." Do you do anything?
I do hear that bit though, right? Like,
You hear the last
or
part,
is
yes.
Barry in there? Okay. He'll shrug and walk up. Yeah. So, what do you need help with, friend?
See, there you go. Already somebody willing to help. And the
Well, it would rather depend on what you need help with.
And-
Just gestures to very skinny arms.
the official, a very well-dressed hobgoblin, turns to you. "Go back in line. We need real soldiers here." And the captain just looks back at the hobgoblin and says, "What? You're turning away help? Come on."
The soldiers need to live, do they not, friend? Or you could just let them all die.
I'm gonna pull my hood up and just tuck it down a little bit lower, and I'm gonna walk up and. It sounds like you got a little bit more of a problem on your hands than you like to believe. Why don't you give the man a chance?
Also, Uthal, you would have seen Darian move off in that direction.
I'd follow suit, but I wouldn't say anything.
There you go.
Sounds-
There's another. 2 already.
Sounds like you really got a shortage on your hands. I don't think you really got the ability to be turning anyone away.
The hobgoblin turns to you and says, "All well and good, but what are the two of you going to do? Need a small army to take on whatever's down there." The rest of you have started to see this commotion going on with a couple of... well, Darian, describe what they see when they see your character talking to the guard.
Well, you see a short of stature, could be a gnome or a halfling. He's got his hood pulled up rather high, and his head sort of ducked down a little bit, a little low, just peeking out from under the hem of the hood. A large unkept beard sticking out from under the hood. A leather brown brigandine coat of plates on his chest, and a short bow by many people's standards across his chest, a string held taut against his chest. Yeah, he's a small archer of some kind.
And Dardalian.
You'd see someone, obviously an elf of some description. He's pretty tall for an elf. Like, looks like he's, sort of approaching the 6 foot sort of area. Very, very pale, almost white skin, and very dark black hair. That's like put into like a multitude of different things, like that you can see like dreadlocks, plaits, there's like a braid at one point, but all of his hair, like even where it's just twisted around, has things like shards of glass or metal or wooden beads, or even what look like feathers or like tiny bits of bone or anything like that. And whenever he moves, it all sort of like cracks together. There's probably other things sort of like hidden away in his hair that also sort of like jingle or just make various other sounds. It's fairly discordant, but he kind of looks like he moves just to make the sound happen, almost as if it calms him or something. And all of that sort of spills down, sort of probably like a good sort of third of the way down his back, over like what looks like a fairly sort of nondescript kind of grey priest's robe, sort of standing there, sort of like a small like shovel folded up, sort of like tucked in, sort of like poking out of a satchel at his side. He also looks like fairly thin, not like wasting away from sickness, just not strong, but fairly tall and billowy.
And Uthal?
You see a giant of a man towering, when he's standing next to Darian, of course, strapped in like nice studded leather armor, a bit of furs on the sides and stuff like that, but strangely he doesn't carry any weapons in his hands, nor on his back, but on his chest there is just a litany of holsters holding daggers. Grayscale, no hair, small amount of visible tattoos, just giant presence, but doesn't carry himself like he wants the attention. But just, stands next to Darian and has his bag, but doesn't feel comfortable out in the light.
And as each of you who are still in the crowd see this, the hobgoblin turns to you, Uthal, and says, "Well, you're starting to convince me, but you're still going to need more." To the rest of
I can go next. There's a clatter up above as a young woman with tanned skin and a 10-gallon hat slides down a drainage pipe. She's wearing a full duster and heavy boots that clink as she land. The boots don't look to be plated, but there's these weird metal, like almost stars attached to the back of them. She rubs this misshapen and kind of dirty badge on her chest and fiddles with what looks to be a firearm in her right pocket. She pulls it out, gives it a quick twirl in her fingers, and puts it back down. I was, heard y'all painting?
Sorry, what? Are you coming here to offer your services as well?
Oh, yeah, but like, how much?
Well, what do you bring?
And she'll pull out her revolver, spin it a couple times, and point in the air, fireballs, and then put it back in. Pappy told me how to throw spells around.
And without trying to disturb the crowd, the hobgoblin looks around and sort of just trying to see if anyone else is going to come out of the woodwork.
No one's looking.
I guess I would see. Sorry, Brad, I forgot your name.
Ellie.
I guess I'd see Ellie move over, and me being the only familiar face around. Stigger will mosey on over. Kind of hidden behind his cloak and keeping his hat down, trying not to be noticed too much. And yeah, so you'll see Stigger, you see first, I guess the fur, the tiger-colored fur, copper and charcoal black head, and a pair of green eyes peering out from underneath the hat. He sniffs the air, very intrigued as to this new environment that he's found himself in, and he's not closed in very much at all. He has a dark green cloak that sort of flows in the breeze a little bit, and he has a couple of shiny braces on his arms, detailed braces, and he firmly grips like a kind of contraption in his left hand, and in his right he holds a staff. He has like this ornate sword at his hip, and the only thing he's really wearing is a pair of pants, green pants, and a leather belt, and a fur tassat that sort of hangs around his waist as well. He's got unclad paws standing on the ground, and yeah, that's what Stigger looks like. And he'll just say, "Is there someone in need of help?"
Yeah, definitely. Definitely feeling like we need some help, but are you sure you're quite ready for this?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Oh, I can vouch for him. He's that, we met. You're that tag guy with the dinosaurs way back out in the east, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's good to see you again.
Because
Don't worry,
you're the only face that I recognize around here.
I know, just, the city is just, wow, I've never seen so much water before. Whew.
Yeah.
Well, hope you'll be happy to know that your little friends are doing great work for us.
That's good to know.
The rest of you, hi, I'm Ellie. She'll put her hand forward.
Greetings.
And then just sort of bows slightly.
So if your hand's out, I'd reach down
Yeah.
and shake it.
Yeah, okay. I was like, hello, yes. Leave me hanging here.
Darian Harviex. Pleasure.
My hat.
Listen, I didn't agree to help out with anything. I'm not that hard up for cash. Just saying, probably want to be taking any help you can get. Big man there. Don't exactly know what you're planning here, what your issue is, but I can tell that you're hard up.
And the hobgoblin turns to each of you and he introduces himself. He just says, "Well, it is pleased to meet you, I suppose. The name is Rilken. Rilken is my name, and you best not be forgetting it. If you want to receive any sort of recognition for your help, you'd best return to me afterwards." "So is that all of you then?" And I think our last person is AFK right now. The other thing I should just mention out of character is that unfortunately the stream has a few glitches and I cannot seem to fix it on my side, not without restarting, so you'll have to bear with us on that and enjoy what you can see in the chat and on the map itself, as well as hopefully just hearing us. But it appears our videos have all frozen.
Good for you.
Yeah, and for some reason the cropped the cropped pages of your characters are all moved as well, and I don't know why. That just happened on its own.
Are there any sort of stacked boxes and barrels nearby?
There are, but for the most part, there's not many of them, because a lot of anything that could be seen as a threat to this event has been cleared away. So anything that would be considered dangerous, such as barrels that look like they might hold something like gunpowder or anything like that, have been removed. But you can see a few planter boxes that you could use.
Do you think they'll support my weight?
They are concrete, so yes, they definitely will.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to hop on the top and just squat down.
And Dragon, you were AFK, but do you do anything when you see this happening?
I guess I'll walk over and see what the commotion's all about. And,
what does everybody see when you approach?
one second. A shortish human, not as short as Darren, but not very tall. With short, fiery red hair, wearing a leather jacket, not like leather actual armor, it's just a jacket, and a scarf, grey scarf. She also has, I can't remember how to pronounce it, but she has different color eyes, so she has a brown eye and blue eye. And yeah, so I didn't write down the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
So I forgot.
Whatever comes to your head.
Yeah, so basically she's in just basically leather gear and a bit of a smug, not arrogant, but just, yeah, sort of appealed to her.
And Real Keen looks around the group and is like, 6 of you. Well, I suppose that makes a good sized group. Are you sure you can't spare anybody, Captain? No one from this gathering, no. But if you head around the corner, I have a few off-duty guards that are potentially ready. Just tell them that LaCroix has asked them to help. And
sorry?
LaCroix. And LaCroix is a pretty athletic-looking human, jet black hair with a jet black beard. He's wearing full plate armor from head to toe. He carries quite the long sword attached to his side. He looks like somebody you wouldn't want to mess with. Definitely looks like he could take pretty much any sort of monster or creature. Doesn't wear a helmet. Doesn't feel like he needs to. And his facial features are very defined. You expect he'd be very well liked among the ladies. And probably a few of the men. And real keen, standing there with his dark black grey robes with a few hints of colour of blue and red mixed throughout. I can actually show you this.
Ooh, a handout.
As you see this hobgoblin standing before you, he says, "Right, this way." And he carries you away. Now that's going to be an absolute pain in the neck. I am going to have to work out another solution. Let me just adjust that on screen because that's going to stay there all the time. There we go. That is annoying when it pops up like that. I'll have to work out a different solution.
I just love on stream that Buster and I got this Brady Bunch thing going where we're both looking onto the map in the center of the screen.
Yep. I might have to find out a better solution for that because it's freezing and...
That's all good, man.
Yep.
No, number one stream. It's gonna be teething issues. It's all good.
And yep.
Whilst they're talking amongst themselves, I'm gonna turn to Uthal and think, "I'm sorry, big man. This wasn't my intention. I didn't mean to get us roped into this. Just soldiers not taking what they need. Gets on my nerves."
Hey, these things happen. It's all good. We've got nothing else going on until the actual ceremony, so why not do some, we want to basically pay for our beers tonight, mate.
Extra coin is always welcome.
Not that we need it.
No,
But I won't say no to
of
freebies.
Absolutely.
Rilken turns to the two of you and he's like, "So, you two know each other?"
You could say that.
We've been traveling together for a time. Simple issue of necessity. We were going the same way. Met on the road.
He says, "Right.
Is that an issue, my friend?"
No, but..." And he looks over in the direction of Ellie and Stigger and says, "You two know each other. Does that mean you all know each other?"
Oh, we just met for a couple of days. We don't know each other too well. Just, hi, hello, not much else.
We are just riding partners for a little while.
Shared a saddle.
Well,
I mean, that's enough out
simple
east, but...
So it's not like you some preordained adventuring party ready for this particular mission. You just happen to be listening all at the same time.
Hey, we all just ended up here, and by crazy happenstance or fate's be it, we're here.
That's
I know
about
him,
it.
but I don't know the rest. And I point to everybody else that's gathered, and I'm like, I don't know them from a monkey's uncle.
How on earth did we end up here anyway?
Valiant's gonna just sort of sit on the ground and just sort of hold the back of his head. Just
Following on from
Apologies.
Chaco's question, yeah, sorry, how did we end up here?
That is an out of character question that I will deal with later.
Ooh,
But
okay.
it'd be different for everybody, and might have spoilers in it.
Yeah, fair.
But as Rilkeen continues to look at you a little puzzled, he turns, gives a nod to LaCroix, who taps his heel and turns himself and starts to walk off with the other guard. And I'm just going to move the map to fill the whole screen because that'll be more useful than seeing everything frozen and out of place. But he turns and he walks away. Rilkeen looks back at the rest of you and just says, "Well, come along then. Let's go get these other two guards." And he leads you off out through a number of alleyways where you meet two other guards stationed. They're actually just sitting there playing a game of cards at a table, off duty as they are, and a little bit 3 sheets to the wind, a few ales in them. And you watch as they stumble about, get their armor on. One of them even leaves his sword behind before Rilkeen sort of shakes his head and just goes, "Your sword? You can't fight without your sword. I've seen you." He returns and goes back and grabs his sword and he says, "Oh, yeah, I couldn't hit a barnyard with this."
I'm regretting it already.
Capable guards we got. It should be.
Is this exactly the caliber of soldier that we're expecting in the city?
Not always, but in fact, I mean to pass this message on to LaCroix. These guys due for some disciplinary action, I think. Any off-duty guard is meant to stay in a ready position.
Well, they're off duty. They're not supposed to do anything.
They're ready to get drunk.
Yes, we allow drink, but not to a state of this level.
Can I just look over their armor and weaponry? Just not like inspecting it with a fine tooth comb or anything. Just looking over it real quick.
Mm-hmm. What are you trying to see or find?
If it's in good order, blemishes. Once upon a time, Darian was a quartermaster, so he has an eye for this sort of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. They seem very well dressed, actually. It doesn't look like they've seen much battle. There's not really any usual sort of marks or dents or scrapes along any of the armor. They are wearing a mix of plate and scale armor. You do make out, though, a common symbol that you did see on the captain as well, and it is the symbol of the royal crest of Breland, which is actually the symbol of a griffin.
Doesn't look like you've seen much action, really. But at least your gear is in good order. Neat, tidy. It's a start.
One of them looks back at you and he just says, "This is the one that didn't forget his sword." He just says, we only signed up yesterday, so we can't wait to see fight a battle. Is this where we're going now?" And he looks over at Rilkeen. Rilkeen.
What race are these two guards?
They both seem to be human.
Okay. Do you say something, Jay?
He just sort of stood there and muttered to himself, "Well, I'll not be hurting for work then."
And Rilkeen says, "Right, well, I guess you're as ready as you'll ever be. Down this way." And he leads you off down another series of alleyways before you get to one that's... I mean, strangely, in this particular city, it's unusual to see anything but this upper class, very well kept, very well decorated set of streets. But you do see one that seems to be a bit of a back alley, and it's when you observe this, you notice that this just seems to be the setup of the city. You'll have mansion beside mansion beside mansion, and a main road that travels through between the front of each of these mansions. But however, in the back, there seems to be a small alleyway between each of the back roads, and this seems to be more the area that you would expect to see all the servants exiting and entering from the back of the mansion, getting rid of all of the trash and rubbish and all this from the back of the mansions without being seen on the front. It's more about the public view for most of the city. The back streets aren't exactly for the public to see. And opening up the gate, he leads you in, and when you head back, you actually see two more guards, except both of them are lying on the ground, and there is a pile of vomit beside one of them, and the other one is just sitting there in a squat position, arms wrapped around his knees, rocking backwards and forwards, vividly looking shook.
You alright, little one?
It's like these two had too much to drink.
He doesn't respond. He looks like
I'm
he's
gonna
in a
walk
state
in.
of shock.
I'm gonna walk over.
And Dardalian. Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna basically not pop a squat, but like crouch as low as I can, put my arm on his shoulder and go, "Hey, champ, you alright?"
Still doesn't respond. He just sits there and shakes.
And Dardalian try to like, look him over, see if he can figure out what's wrong with him, or if it's only shock, or if something else has happened.
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
Can Jocko, can Stigoni assist with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
both of you can make a medicine check, or one could roll at advantage.
I'll let
Oh, thank you.
Jack roll.
19.
So with a 19, you look over him, and he seems to be in good health. It seems to be just a state of shock or panic. Potentially he's seen something that he was not expecting. He also looks very young. Not much older than the two guards that you've just picked up along the way. Potentially this was a recent recruit.
There's
And
no
this was his
wounds
first
on him,
sign.
are there?
No wounds that Dardalian can see, no.
And you said there was a second guard that had vomited up.
Yes.
Moment, and he's collapsed. Is he unconscious?
He is resting, but he's not unconscious. He does have his eyes closed.
Is there like a sorry to interrupt? Is there like a smell of stale booze in the air around these guys, or is it
Make a perception check.
Yeah, does it smell bad here?
I mean, it's vomit on the ground, so I suspect that's probably
Yeah, I
gonna,
smell it's like
gonna smell
rank.
the worst. But
Yeah.
Just slightly.
you know, the alcohol vomit has a pretty distinct smell to it. So
It does.
With that perception roll of 19, you sniff around, and particularly in the direction of the guard lying prone. And it's at that point you also notice a trapdoor in the floor. It seems to be closed at the moment, but it is unlatched, as if it's been opened recently. But the smell is a mixture of dirty, sort of rubbish sort of smell in the back alley of this building. Definitely a strong smell of vomit. Not exactly pleasant. But no scent of booze.
I'm gonna push my hood back and let it fall around my shoulders, and you guys can all see I'm completely shaven bald, and I have a single little stone earring hanging in my right ear, and I'm just gonna sniff the air and then look about, and I'll see that trapdoor. Say, well, I suspect that this is probably the way down into that catacombs area that the guardsman was speaking of. This isn't a ruckusy end of shift situation here, I don't believe.
Ellie will put her hand to her mouth and nose and go, ugh, God, reeks like my pappy's stables in here. How could you do that? Take a big old sniff of this place.
Well, worse.
I've had worse. Some of the places I've had to live in. Some of the places I've had to crawl through.
And it's at that point as well you notice that the handkerchief that Rilken has used to actually push the gate open, he's now holding up to his nose. Just protecting himself from whatever this rank smell is.
As he's looking over the one that's sort of like sitting and rocking, and he's like sort of reaching through his satchel trying to find something. He sort of turns his head towards Ellie and goes, I take it you've not smelled death before then, child.
And the one
It's
that
not my
is
job.
Horrors of war, blah blah. You'll get to know it. Right now, that's not the issue. I'm gonna wonder if I'm gonna have a look at that trapdoor. Is there like a handle on the outside, or
there is a handle. It's a loop that you could just grip onto and lift up.
Okay, let's have a look. And I'm just going to bend with my knees and just reef it up.
You got it. As you lift it up, you do see with your passive perception a small wire that seems to have been loosened from whatever it was connecting to. You're fine. This trap has already been released.
Oh.
It's
I had a feeling that would have been the case. They've opened it up and seen something horrible on the inside.
And you would probably know this, both Stigger and Dardalian, that it's probably likely, particularly you, Stigger, would notice that in the making this traps and such, that whatever they've triggered has probably hit them, and it's affected their constitution.
I'm gonna sort of finger the string that had been triggered. Like, I think I know. I found what may have caused this little bit of a scene here. Someone's been trapping these doors. We're gonna be heading down. We better keep an eye out for that. Everyone, be on your best behavior. Keep your eyes open.
It's
Now, why
probably
would
not good.
someone?
Go, Ellie.
Now, why would someone do that?
Well, if it was so far unknown, undiscovered, someone might be wanting to keep it a little bit of a secret to themselves.
Don't you think it'd be triggering when they try to open up their hidey hole?
See,
If they know that it's there, they could just disarm it themselves.
you see, with some criminal elements, they like to hide things in plain sight. This is plain sight. Wouldn't
That
it
just
not?
feels impractical. Pop it on a rooftop or something. No one looks there.
Wouldn't a rooftop only enter the one domicile? This would enter a sewer system. Great way to get away.
True. And hell, if they never use this entrance themselves, they could be just defending it. And that also means that there could be more.
Well, I admit, I've never been in a city with a working sewer system before, so this is new to me.
You're not gonna like how it smells down there.
Oh, is it worse than this?
As you open up the trapdoor, there is a smell of dank mustiness that comes up from into this chamber below. It's definitely not as bad as the vomit that is on the ground.
Hey, at least I'm not having to walk through it in bare feet this time.
Uthal laughs and then just nudges staring to shut the fuck up.
Ugh, y'all make the girl want to go home.
You guys,
Stigger just gonna kneel down next to the guy that's rocking around on the ground, and put his hand on his shoulder and say, there's not a whole lot I can do, and just tap him on the side of the head and then actually just slap him, really hard, and just use his
please.
healing hand on him.
My
And-
mama had cures like that.
And Rilken at this point says, "Right, well, yes, whatever it was down there. I suppose when you return, come look for me. I see you've got this handled."
Just quickly before we go into the tunnel itself, Uthal's just gonna take a second, just look around the entrance. Are there any markings or subtle indicators that this might be used by criminal elements? Anything, any markings in thieves' camp, I guess.
Go ahead and make an investigation check at advantage.
So is this like a ladder going straight down, or?
It's a stairwell.
Okay, gotcha.
17.
There are no markings per se in any language that you know, but there are a few runes that you don't recognize on the underside of the trapdoor.
I'm gonna point them out and go, does anybody understand what these may mean? If it's not a language I understand, it's not thieves' can, I've got no fucking idea.
I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, I'll have a look as well.
Does anybody have the language deep speech?
No. I genuinely tossed up between that and something else that I have, and I was like, well, which one would make more sense?
That's negative. While the guys are looking at this, is it dark below, or is there torches lit, or?
It seems to be pretty dark, yeah. And Stigger, I'm assuming this is what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I just actually don't know how to roll that.
Go ahead and roll your martial arts die, which is whatever.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure what that is.
It should be somewhere in your...
D4 or 6, but
Let me just see.
yeah, it's just not anywhere on my character sheet.
It's a D4. Yep, so it's in your... It's a D4
Changes
there.
it. Cool, okay, it is.
So roll your D4 and then add your wisdom modifier. Which is how much?
2, I think. So
2?
6.
And as you reach down and lay your hands down on the guard who was lying prone and imbue some of your inner key into the guard, he sort of opens his eyes a little bit, looks a little brighter, still seems to be a little bit wobbly, but
Yeah,
he seems to have taken a bit of the healing.
that's good. I'll just say that's all I can do for you at the moment.
Thank you. I'll be all right.
So I did say to him, did you try and open the grate over there and something hit you?
Yeah. I opened it and there was this click. And next thing you know, I was just... Yeah, well, you can see it.
What brought you down here, friend?
Just a regular patrol, really. We don't typically check out these back alleys, but There was something about this alley in particular. We headed down here and we thought we saw somebody. We never caught up with them. And that's when we saw this door.
It's not. Okay. As he's sort of listening to him, he pulls out like a little sort of tiny metal dish in the box and a little block of incense and like crumbles some of it into it, strikes a spark, sets it smoldering and sits it near him and goes, "Until you get your strength back, hopefully this will make things smell a little nicer down here." It's sort of like a combination of a little pressed block of like dried herbs and stuff. It's like a combination of like sage, rosemary, gorse, rock rose, and a couple other things. So it leaves that sort of softly smouldering near it.
Yes, that is definitely helpful, I suppose, but anybody got a shovel to clean up this mess?
I do have a shovel, but I'll want it back.
And he
Like sort of pulls it out, unfolds it, like snaps it together and hands it to him.
he takes it off you as he staggers to his feet and just sort of starts moving the vomit off to one side in the corner. And then looks down at the shovel with whatever's still left on the end of it, and he says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't think of that." And hands it back to you.
Pulls out a water skin and just like empties it over it. It's fine. It's had worse on it.
Rookin says, "Well, I have to get back to it. I will pray that you take care of yourselves down there. I don't want to be sending others off just to clean up any bodies." And he turns and walks away. And the two guards follow him, leaving you with just the two guards that you have pulled with you, the drunken ones. What'd you like to do?
Well, I will pull a handkerchief from my bag and wrap it around my face. I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
Whilst I'm standing at the top of the stairs, there's gonna a little ball of light will just start to appear in my hand. And I'm just gonna let it float on down the stairs. Does it look like it's like a hallway, like a cramped space, or is it open up into a larger area?
At the start, it's just a cramped walkway to head down. You can't see anything further down inside there, though, unless you send your... Are you sending your lights further in?
Yeah, I'd send a dancing light down just to see if I can see like the wall straight in front of at the end of the stairs, like a sewer system or something like that. But if it opens up into like a hall, like a open catacomb or something along those lines, I'll treat it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. About 30 foot down, you see the tunnel seems to open up into an open area. There is what seems to be some sort of pole in the middle of the room, but otherwise that's as far as you can see from where you are.
Alright, I'll take my hand off of the short sword that I have just under my cloak, and I'm gonna take my my bow off of my shoulders, and I'm gonna knock an arrow. I'm gonna start heading down the stairs. I want to just keep an eye on the stairs themselves to see if there's any sort of inconsistency, whether it looks like there might be something loose or like a pressure plate or something along those lines. Do not do that. Yeah.
Go ahead and make an investigation check. You're pretty confident there's no pressure plates or slits in the wall or anything like that to suggest continuing on would be a problem.
Doesn't matter. Yep. I'm gonna knock an arrow. I'm gonna start heading down the stairs, following my dancing light.
Uthel's actually going to wait and usher everybody in and wait until everyone's gone in, then I want to do something.
Okay. And you find yourselves at the bottom of this stairwell. And
Ugh, I hate the underground.
let me just spin up the scripts again because it failed.
Has everyone gone down at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
Stigger will realize just how bad it sort of smells around here and pull up his large hanky over his face, and then he'll pull out his little foldable short bow and extend that, and he'll follow suit with Darian.
Mm-hmm. So leading
gonna-
down this tunnel.
Sorry, because what I wanted to do before I went into the tunnel, I wanted to actually read the runes and use comprehend languages, but I don't want people to see me doing it.
Okay, go ahead and make... Everyone else make a perception check.
Oh, I mean, I've already gone down, so.
I've gone.
Could you just do it for me? I've just had Cocoa Pops pulled all over me by the young fella.
He knows.
Rip. Alright, bro.
What order did you head down? So
I'm going in
Darian was
Probably
first.
Like one of the last. He's still like cleaning off his fucking shovel and shit.
I think it's probably third or fourth.
I'm rolling in right second.
Okay, so we got Darian, followed by Ellie, followed by Stigger.
I'll probably be after Stigger, I guess.
Okay, followed by... have you revealed your name yet?
No.
Okay.
They just signed me up. I'm like,
Uh, followed by yourself. Followed by Dardalian. And as you head down Dardalian, you notice that Uthal seems to be spending a little bit extra time outside. Not sure what he's doing, but you definitely notice that he's doing something outside. He hasn't followed you immediately in.
As he's sort of standing there, sort of Dardalian notices it and says, perhaps see if you can convince those two. And he sort of like looks towards the guards and goes, the two guards, one who's like off his face and one who's slightly less off his face. And he goes, perhaps see if you can convince them to stand guard or something. They probably get in the way. And then just keeps going.
They've actually decided to follow immediately down after you. So they're already halfway through the tunnel.
Right, okay.
Behind you.
Well,
Man.
And they seem to have this youthful keenness, as if like they're ready and they're pumped.
oh, I'm fucking burying him before the end of the day's out. I can fucking feel it.
Stigger will mention to Ellie, I don't think those two should be following us.
Yeah, I don't think they could set a pole up right. How close are they to us?
They are pretty much following you immediately behind. So from where you are, maybe about 5 to 10 feet.
So I'm gonna like stop and like hold my hands out in a very excited way, like, "Hey, listen, you two, I got a wonderful job. It's very important. So listen closely, all right?
Right.
Right. So here's what you got to do. You got to get up the stairs, make sure nobody comes down in after us, right?
But
Stay there.
But Rulkin said we had to help.
No. Vilkeen said listen to us. We're here to help, and you're helping us, so you're still helping.
They look to each other, and the other one, the one that's more drunk
Plus-
than the other,
Buy you a drink.
I guess you can't argue with that then. Alright. And the two of them head back outside, where they still see you, Ethel.
That's fine.
Thought we were going to bury some bodies by the end of the day. I've seen a few drunk folks patrolling the guard in the whirlwind. Never ends well.
Good call, Ellie.
Yeah, so once those guards will come back out, and I won't really bat an eyelid too much, but then I'll cast comprehend languages and go what
Okay.
and read those runes.
I have just messaged you what you find.
So I don't know how close anyone is to the entrance, but you're just gonna hear Uthus go, "Ah, fuck."
Dardalian, you definitely heard that with your nat 20 on your perception.
Yeah.
Do you follow then down after that, Uthal?
Yeah.
You do have to duck your head. The roof here is only about 6 foot tall. So you are hunched over as you head in.
God damn, craftsman's not making things accommodating.
But when you get to the bottom, you find yourselves in a chamber where the tunnel leads down to a burial mound of sorts. A roughly circular chamber with an elaborate stone coffin sitting in each of 3 round alcoves. All 3 coffins are open. Their lids are either pushed aside or lying on the floor. There's a large black iron brazier pitted with age sitting in the center of the chamber. There's a few mismatched tapestries that cover the stone walls of the 3 alcoves. They depict family sigils, scenes of battle, and so on. Some of them have even been defaced or slashed. You can go ahead and spawn your dancing light too.
Yeah,
Some-
I'm trying to, but it's
Oh,
not
it's not
actually
working?
spawning. Yeah.
It's very regal
Hold on,
music
let
for
me
an
just
underground crypt.
Spawn candle.
I
I think
will,
they like to keep a fancy down
That's not
in the
that's
city.
not working either.
They're
me
burying
just-
a.
Rehash the page real quick.
yep, try that now.
Uthul's gonna strike up a torch though.
Yeah.
hello,
Whoa!
torch?
Now I can't see nothing.
That
So
didn't work.
as with the dancing light hit the bottom of the stairs, you watch as the one dancing light just like seems to separate and moves into 4 separate ones and just sort of like spans out a little bit, covering a much larger area.
Yeah, I
My
know what's
vision got
happening.
reversed.
This is what I was trying to fix before the game started, but there's a bug in this. I don't know why, but let me see
Yeah, I got nothing now.
if I can force it to go back. Let me.
I think the dancing lights are there, but they're not giving up any light.
Well, it
They're
is.
giving reverse light.
Yeah, fucking. I just went to spawn a torch and lost my vision.
How's that work?
Yeah,
Just
I remember that
completely.
happened. I remember that happened on the fucking Eberron map. Sorry, not
Do you
Eberron,
mind if I?
fucking-
So, does the
Crossbow.
character light only still work?
It does. There's something with this particular map, and I don't know why. I've redone it a few times, and it can't seem to save the settings on it. So I don't really want to make the whole map visible, though.
That's fine.
that's-
Hey, sorry, Sticks. I've just disappeared completely. Big man.
Did ya?
And Sticks, I'm still stuck on the world map.
Oh, because you moved yourself before. You just needed to do the rejoin.
Yeah,
There
I
you go.
just couldn't see where it was.
You're good.
Beautiful.
So you can see now, can you? You can only see yourself.
Yep.
I can
Yes.
I can definitely see myself now. Oops. I didn't mean to do that.
I can see myself and about 5 feet in front of me.
Oh, Let's try this again. Submit.
Oh,
Oh
it
boy.
worked.
It worked. Yes.
This no, it's now there's a corner of darkness.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could not see anything now.
Yeah, it's like when I was playing John, and every time I tried to fucking pull out a torch on that one map, and everyone else was like, "Yeah, I can't fucking see shit anymore."
That's crazy because the settings are pretty much identical except for the distance of vision.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Looks like wherever that the torture spawn is now darkness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a torch of darkness.
Yes.
Mm.
Why is this working?
Could somebody see something just then?
You might need to give him just like fucking 20 foot of dim vision or something.
It's not even that though. That's not the issue.
Oh, okay.
Can you see anything now, Fred?
Yes,
Oh,
now we're good.
see, now that's
Yeah, I'm literally having to turn on legacy lighting. I think it's because this particular map has come from legacy settings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see anything, Dragonlink?
I can see Darian and 2 chests of coffins. Sort of.
Okay. Let me just make sure all the tokens can see. You can see 3.
Oh my god, I can see.
I can see clearly now.
Bear with us, we'll get there in a sec. And you can see 3.
Assume we came through this.
Yes, you did. I'm just setting all of the other settings back up. You can see 60. You can see 60. And just Digger. You have sight. And you can see 60. Is that everyone?
Who's
awesome.
that
Yeah,
standing
see,
there?
way better now.
Tell me,
Awesome.
who's that standing there?
Is there a
My
way
yeah,
to...
yeah.
FOV's still a little
What's his name
small.
now?
You were changing those.
Sorry, say that again.
Go ahead.
No, it's cool. It's all good. It's all good.
So
I was
try
just trying to figure out who it was.
and get the torch in now again if you want to. It should work now.
Oh my, yes, works perfectly.
Okay. Alright, I'll
Is there
leave
a
them.
way to turn people's like avatars off on the screen, sort of thing? Like the...
Yes, yeah. So you click the cog up in the top right hand corner.
Audio,
It should be
video, drop
audio,
down.
video, and then you can drop video display names only.
Awesome. So better, thank you.
Yep, and let me just... Oh. That is going to be a problem.
What?
Because I'm screen capping through the interactive, all the stream can see is a black screen because all I can see is the dark vision.
Oh no.
And I can't
Yeah.
give them my access because they'll see more than that.
Yeah.
Let me do this. I can probably do this. I will be able to get it up. Give me 1 second. This is what you get when you're trying to follow somebody else's tutorial on how to stream from Roll20 as the GM.
Huh.
Yeah.
Be the observer.
Kind of. Let me get this up.
So is that tunnel where we came down?
The only trouble is now is I have no idea. Let me... Ah, there we go. I don't know where that dropped on the map. That's the only thing. What can I do to make this work? Because I need to... Because if I just view this as a player, I still don't have a token to see anything.
If you're gonna do that, you can set it so that like I don't know, set it so the token has like vision or something. Like give yourself like a token that you can see through.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but...
Or make it so that you can see through our tokens.
Or you can see through the torch. Here we go.
Yeah, that too.
How's that? No, I still can't see it.
It's good to work out all the kinks now.
Yep. I mean, this was bound to come up, I suppose, but I've just thrown a character sheet onto there. Hang on, I can probably... It's probably because it's got no... I need to give myself visual. Oh no, it's already there. Let me just do this. I don't think that'll work. Nope. Yeah, that's annoying.
Alright, be right back. 1 sec.
I actually don't know how I'm going to do this. Not without creating a secondary account to log in from and giving that access to a token.
You should be able to open up just another browser,
Well, that's
log
what
in
I've
as
done.
yourself again, and then as a player, and then just give yourself access as a player to one of the tokens to be able to see everything.
Yeah, I mean, I just rejoined as a player, but
Because that's what I do for my Monday game. Because
launched as a
I've got
player.
my own screen that I use, and I've got my DM screen open on a laptop, which is HDMI to a TV that I have a player screen from my profile as well, and that's all I can see.
I love how dark it's gotten in Brent's apartment since we started.
I know the sun's setting. It's like 5:45, and it's gonna be dark in 15 minutes.
Oh, bruh.
Yeah, it'll be pitch black in half an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, welcome to, daylight savings Canada.
Maybe I need to turn on vision. That might help, but I think I already did. Yeah, no, I can't get that to show anything. That's a little bit annoying. I might have to mess with this outside the session to get this working. I guess I'll have to make another account just to log in. Unless somebody, well... I tell you what we can do. What I can do is somebody got a good internet connection that can share their screen in the video, like stream it in Discord?
Yeah, okay.
Well, somebody that's got decent vision, that's all.
Yeah, I can't do it then. I got good enough internet.
Probably
I can't see shit.
somebody with dark vision.
I could do it, but
Alternatively, could we use my familiar? Like, give
Yeah,
you
that'll
permission to have my familiar and just move that around?
Well, the problem is what I can see as the familiar, because at the moment I see a black screen because the capture is capturing me as a player, but I don't control that necessarily. Let me see if I can get that to work. Yeah, see, nothing's showing up on the other screen where I'm logged in as a player at all.
Doesn't allow me to share
What's wrong one anyway?
browser.
I
No,
don't know.
you should be able to share screen and then choose your browser.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Alright, let's try this then. I can do this.
There you go.
Doing this on the fly. Almost there.
It's a plan.
Okay, you're all on camera again though, so now it should be fine.
Alright, we're right there, carry on.
Yep.
Once Uthal rejoins the group, he's just gonna like basically just walk down, see a couple of open sarcophagi and just go, we need to be careful, I figured out what those runes up there meant.
Yeah? Don't tell.
This is the Warlock Crypt.
Oh, fuck.
You say that like you know what the Warlock Crypt is.
I don't, but I'm pretty sure that a Warlock Crypt can't be good when we come down to find open sarcophagi.
What's this doing down here in the middle of the city, anyways? They got graveyards?
So
Right, and what exactly is it being trapped for?
So, looking around, I'm gonna go to this one up here. Is there anything actually in the sarcophagi, or are they empty?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Bum bum.
Alright, so with a 13, you find just dozens upon dozens of irregular, haphazard scratches within the coffins. You do
No body, just scratches.
just scratches, no bodies. You do also notice that the tapestry in the northern alcove, just near there, it appears to be a door behind there.
Okay. There's a door behind this one, yeah?
More over here.
I want to take the next couple of minutes going around checking all three sarcophagi, but the entire time, I'm going to be using I want to use a character feature. This. To see if there's anything hidden around.
Alright. That's just a bonus action, yep.
Yeah, so just basically every time I check something, I'll have a quick look around and just, as a bonus action, I'll be like...
Yep. Can do.
Yeah.
But you do notice, yes, along this wall, near the tapestry, it does appear to be some sort of door. Carefully.
As you guys are all looking around, Darnell's gonna close his eyes, murmur something to himself, and I'm just gonna pop that if I can. If it'll work for me. Did it?
What did you do?
Try and class feature, but it doesn't want to work for me.
Oh, which one's that?
Eyes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Okay, give that a go now.
Okay.
Did you pick anything up?
Red laser beams.
Possibly. I mean, on the radar thing, it showed me there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you
I
tell
don't
the
know
group?
exactly how accurate that is. He sort of, as he's sort of like turning around fairly quickly, sort of like looking around, he goes, not to worry you all, but I think we might have something coming towards us. And he's gonna gesture off in like sort of down there, off in that direction, and then sort of up there-ish.
Care to elaborate?
I'm
Something's
not
coming to
exactly
us.
certain, but there's a fair bit of stone around. I'm not exactly certain.
So it's coming towards us through the
Four
stone is what you're trying
things.
to tell me.
4 things. Don't, I presume, given that this is a crypt, there will be other rooms, so there will either be travelling through the other rooms first, or if it's some form of ghostly apparition, it will come straight through the stone. Yes.
Are you sure
How
it's coming for
defiled
us?
does this particular part of the crypt look? Sorry, what was that?
Are you sure they're actually coming towards us?
Well, I'll take another look. Do they move at all, or do they just stay in place?
From where you're gathering these entities are, it doesn't appear that they've moved.
Okay, they're not moving, they're just staying in place, so we can probably move around them. I can only do that once more, though.
Okay.
Same positions.
Is this a well in the center of the room next to Dardalian?
That is an iron brazier.
Alright, well, Uther's gonna walk up, have a look at it. Are there any, like, is there any wood or charcoal in there?
There is a bit of wood in there, yeah.
He's gonna get his torch and put it into the brazier to light it up, so we actually have light in the whole room.
Alright. I will throw this on here, so that wherever you move, it will stay.
So how badly defiled does this particular part of the crypt look? Like, on a scale of like not very to, so I can get someone in here to reconsecrate it.
It does appear that there's been a lot of things going on in the place, but it's no worse than you'd expect in an underground system. It just appears that there's been things being brought and dragged and moved and scratched and things through here.
So the tunnel off to the east is the stairs we came in?
Yes,
Yeah, I think so,
yes, yes.
Okay.
From over here.
Yep.
So you find yourselves in this alcove area at the bottom of the stairwell. And one of the guards actually looks back down, and now that you've lit up the room, he just says, "Are you guys all right down there?"
We're
Yeah,
fine.
man.
Just
Turn
stay
on the
there.
fucking- Just lit up the brazier so we can see. It's quite dark in here.
That dark.
Uthal at this point is just gonna walk over to this little door type thing, not open it, just like scout it out. Given that the trap door to come down here was trapped, Uthal's gonna have a look around the door and really take his time, just check for traps around the door.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Yahtzee.
1.
From what you can tell, and you are looking at this door from all the seams to the top of the door, the bottom of the door, the handle. As far as you can tell with that roll, you can't seem to detect any sort of trap.
I'm not going to open the door yet, but I'm going to get ready to open the door when everyone basically gives me the thumbs up.
Hover my hand over my pistol.
Puts his thumbs up. Not really.
Oh, it's just they're waiting.
I'll wait for Darian to give me the thumbs up.
Gonna look over at him and give him the nod as I just set the arrow and get my fingers straight.
And upon that, I will attempt to open the door.
Okay. And from where you push on the door, it doesn't quite open. It appears to be locked.
I will attempt to pick the lock.
Alright, go ahead and give me a Thieves' Tools roll. You insert all of the devices from your tools and you fiddled around for a little while. A few clicks here and there. You find a few of the pins, depress a couple of them, but the last one, something about it, you just can't quite get it.
You alright there, Uthal?
Yeah, just this lock's a bit of a bastard, mate.
Struggling a little bit.
Yeah, just can't seem to get it. That last pin just won't go through. Obviously if I try again the DC would be higher, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it would be a little bit.
I'll let out a sigh. Stretch the old neck, stretch the whole hands.
Before you do that, Dardalian's gonna like come up, pat you on the shoulder, and say, "I have faith in you," and cast guidance.
Ooh.
Alright, so go ahead and cast that spell.
Yep, sorry. Give me a second. There we go. Oh, cool. Concentration.
For the next minute, you are now concentrating.
Yep.
And D4 for good measure.
Oh.
Oh,
If we can't get through it with that,
And you find as your Thieves' Tools break. No, I'm joking.
No!
He's too
right,
strong.
boys, we're gonna bust this door down.
Let me do this, sorry. There we go. And the door opens up and starts to swing open. And you see before you another set of stairs leading further down into what appears to be another room. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna get my torch. Check
I'm
the
gonna have to
doorway
figure out
this time on the other side for traps before going through. Who do we just lose? Jack.
Oh, it's typing.
Yep, he's had to duck out.
To work.
I
gonna
probably have to go in the next 15 minutes too. So.
Alright, well this might be a good spot to then just hold up
Yeah, it might
before
be.
we go any
Get some
further
good
then.
dinner and leave us on a little cliffy hanger.
So before we finish up, you find yourself in, as Uthal describes it, a warlock's crypt. You've entered a room with 3 open coffins. No bodies inside, but does appear to be lots of scratchings. And a now lit brazier in the center of the room. You have found a doorway hidden behind a tapestry, which you have now successfully unlocked and opened, and you see a stairwell heading down to another room. The guards are waiting outside, and Rilken, the hobgoblin courtier, has placed you in this mission. A group of unsuspecting adventurers thrust together as volunteers to investigate what is going on here. And that is where we'll leave it for session 0.
Didn't
Volunteers,
even
I like
didn't even negotiate pay, which is the real problem.
Something I meant to ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt while everything was going on. The event that took part in the backstory episode. Did I ever get paid for that?
We'll come to that later. But as far as the stream's concerned, sorry for the technical issues. We'll see whether we can work out to make this a little smoother for next time. But thank you if you've been here watching, and we'll hope to see you again the same time next week, maybe a little earlier because we started a little later being session 0. Had to cover a few things off. But hopefully next week, same time, we'll get back into this crypt with a full party investigating what is going on under the city, the floating city, of which you do not know where yet.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Spooky,